Hey everyone, it's Karen here for Artist Live, and today I have part one of a video of a project that I'm going to create. I'm going to alter a tag using rust and patina paste, but today we're going to just create the composition and put all the things together, and next week you will hopefully join me again on June 5th as I basically color and rust and create all the nice texture on it. But today we're just going to be creating the actual tag. So I'm going to turn the camera around and we're going to get started. So here is the project, and I have to sometimes hold on till I get my camera properly. And also, I can't see. No, it's not well. Okay, I do prefer my other computer. So today the computer, my computer decided to do an update last minute, and because of that, I had to take my laptop up. So I don't know. Hopefully you can see it well. And let's get some light here. Okay, so this is a project that I created today. I created it last week, and it uses a lot of the new, well, they're not that new, but I guess the rust and patina paste from Prima Finnabair. Now they're either available at the brick and mortar stores. They have like the big jars that are available at your brick and mortar stores, or you can buy the smaller 3-tube ones, which are also available there. You can buy them at Michael's. So basically this is the project that I'm going to create, and I'm going to put it aside so we can start with the new tag. I am using, and let me just, oops. I'm using a Tim Holtz. It's called Etcetera, Artful Things for Curious Minds. It's a Stampers Anonymous. It's a very thick and sturdy tag. It's made out of really hard chipboard. I would say more like MDF. I think it's chipboard, but I'm not 100%. So this is the one. Okay. And I just realized that, how do I turn the setting off so it doesn't do that? It's zooming in and out. Okay, sorry about that. You know what? I really was trying to use my other computer because I have it already all set up, and then now it's going to zoom in and out, and it's going to be annoying for everyone. So I'm going to try and figure out the settings for this. So just 1 minute, okay? I didn't realize it was going to do this. How do I do that? I did it on the other computer, but I can't figure out how to do it here. Well, I apologize for this zooming in and out a little bit. Hopefully by next week everything will be okay for the second part. And for those of you who are watching this after, I apologize as well for all my talking. So this is the one I'm using, and the way I covered it, somebody gave me some recycled corrugated, oh, I can't say that, cardboard, which I already cut to the right size. This is just recycled one, but you can buy this one as well. And I am going to basically glue it. So the way I glued it is using some 3D gel, or any type of gel would work. Actually, I could use even the soft gel. Oh, here my computer is finally working. Great. Too little, too late. Oh, hi, Janelle. Okay. I can't see who else is here, but I see that there's other. Okay, sorry, I'm a bit distracted because the last minute my computer decided not to work, and I had to switch computers. Okay, so basically all I'm doing is I'm just gluing this to the background. I really love using textures, and this is a great way of doing that. So there's so many materials that can create texture, and I have actually a video coming out soon, hint hint, that basically gives you all the different many different ways, not all the different ways, but many different ways you can create texture using different materials, whether they're recycled or not. And I'm using my silicone brush, which is a Prima Finnabair product, and it's really great. It's one of my favorite ones from the last release. And I've said this before, it's really much easier to apply things with it than it is with the palette knives. But again, you can do it with a palette knife or with paint brushes. It's not a problem. So all I'm going to do is just stick this on. And there we go. That is it. It's very easy. Yeah, this so somebody's saying that they love the size of it, and I just to tell you what it's these are the medium ones, okay? They also have smaller ones, but these are the mediums. Oh, actually maybe they even have larger ones as well. I can't remember, but the medium ones is a good size. I mean, I don't need something too big, so this is a perfect size for that. And I actually did get these in my brick and mortar stores. Which is One Crazy. The one I got this one at, it was One Crazy Stamper, but anywhere would work for that matter. So if you can get it, that would be great because it's really fun to alter. The next step that I'm going to do is I want to add a little bit more texture. So I am going to use some of the texture paste. This is the white sand. I mean, anything could work. You could work with how do you call this, crackle paste, or you could even take some of this thin art stones or the other ones and create this really nice gritty paste. I could have done that, but this one is already done for you, and I didn't have patience to go in and create my own right now. Or not, sorry, let me not say not patience, but time, because I really wanted to get this all done, at least in for the first part of this show. So this time, because it's such a gritty kind of paste, I want to use I do want to use a palette knife, and you see how my palette knives are really dirty, but it's okay because I use a lot of mediums. So here is this. So what I want to do is just add a little bit of texture in certain areas, especially the areas near the edges. So you hear how gritty it is because it has like actual, I think, sand in it, I'm guessing. So let me just take a little bit more, and I'm not adding it everywhere. I just want to add it in a few certain areas to kind of add that texture. Later on, it's going to have even more texture because the actual rust paste and patina paste are very gritty as well. So they have this really nice gritty texture that give that really nice effect, right? So it looks like it's old. So just applying it randomly. I'm not actually caring where I do it. I just want to have that texture in different areas, and that's it. Okay. All right. Just some here. I mean, I try to basically cover some edges. And I don't really need to let it dry because I'm going to be applying and other things on it, so this doesn't really need to dry at all. It will dry as I work with it. Okay, now I have another step that I have to do, so this can actually go here on the side, and I'm going to show you, I want to show you how I created a certain product here. So you see this this tag here, not the tag, the actual like thing underneath. I don't know what it's called. It's, I guess it's like it's not a tag, but it's something, you know, like a label, but it's a thick one. I want to show you how I made that. Okay. In one of our other shows, one of my fellow artist, Heather, showed how to use this product on some embossing folders, and this is a really great way of creating molds, to use it inside molds and creating these really nice really nice tags, or not tags, sorry, like the molds that I showed you, or the label that I showed you. So I'm gonna take these products out, and they're really easy to use. This is called Amazing Casting Resin, and it's a resin that goes inside any mold, any silicone mold and so forth. And I'm using today a Prima Marketing silicone mold. This is labels. Okay, yeah, I was right about what they're called. I'm making a label, and this is how it comes. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to create that. So the reason why I wanted to do this now is because I need to let this dry, right? So it has to work for a few minutes. And let me make sure that I got the right one in the right cup. Okay, so these are the three things. And what you do is you measure a little bit of each of these products, the 2 bottles, and you want 1-to-1 ratios. So I'm not exact on this, but I just basically eyeball it, because it doesn't have to be exact. And I'm going to put the other one there as well. Oh, sorry. I can't really see the chat. I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. Oh, I am missing a lot. Sorry about that. I hope I'm sorry if I didn't say hi to all the people that are there. I just realized I missed a lot of the stuff. I see there's some new people here, so thanks for coming. Okay, so I'm eyeballing this. I just want to make sure that they're same height, and if they're not, I will add pretty close. Okay, and then so when they're apart, they're not reacting. As soon as you put these 2 agents together, they start reacting, and they start becoming really hot, because it's a chemical reaction. And I'll just show you what happens. So I'm going to mix them in the same one. And then you take it, the kit comes with a little like stick like this, and you wait until it's basically, you stir it until it's clear. And once it's clear, you pour it in, and it takes about 10 minutes to dry. So this is why I wanted to do this now, because I wanted to make sure that it dries beforehand. So here it is, and I'm just going to pour it. I'm going to make this label here, which is the same one I use. And as it starts drying, it becomes white. The agent becomes white, and it's really easy to use. Hold on, oops. I'm trying to get it into the corners here, and it's not working. One corner. There we go. All right, and then I'm going to make a second label. I have some left over, and I can already feel it warm in my hands. This one will probably be, I don't think I have enough for all of it, but that's okay. The most important is the other label anyways. I'm just kind of moving it around a little bit, at least so I'll get the form of the other one. Okay, good. So it's really cool because it starts changing within a few minutes. As you can see, even in this area here, you can see that it's turning a little bit white. Okay, so now I'm gonna put this aside, and hold on, I want to, okay, you can still hear me, right? Because I just turned the volume off of my computer to make sure that you don't hear all the dinging from Facebook and different things like that. Okay, so we're going to put this in the corner here, and I'm going to try to maybe keep it so you guys can kind of watch how it dries how it starts drying. So if I keep it in that corner, can you still see it? Yeah, I think you can. Oops. Keep on getting confused between the mouse from my computer and my laptop. Okay, so sorry, I just want to put these things back in the box so they don't get confusing with everything else. And then we're gonna get going. So you can see here in the corner how they're drying, and at the same time we're gonna be working here. Perfect. Good. So yeah, you can also use, for these molds, you can also use paper clay. You can use, oh God, it's doing so much zooming. I don't know why. It doesn't know what to focus on. Okay, I'm going to get closer to this, so maybe it will know to focus on that. So You can also use paper clay. You can use like putty. There's different ways to use to actually create these molds. And you can see already, you see how it's turning white? So this is what I meant. It's really, really fast. Okay, so now I'm going to start adding the things that I want for this project. So this is a really cool metal star. It's like a barn star, and hold on, it's called Salvaged. It's a large metal star. I bought it in actually another brick and mortar store near me, Paper Lane Studio, and it's called Salvaged, and it has many different things. Last time I used the wings from this company, and now I'm using this star, which I really, really love. It's really nice, but I was trying to use it the whole time. I was trying to use it like the other way around, but eventually I ended up turning it and using it this way because I just couldn't get it the right way. So so that's one thing that I'm adding. The other thing that I'm using is I'm using these wings from the Archival cast from Sandra Everson, and this, I just love wings. I don't like using wings, for example, on people, or like, you know, people that I love or things like that, because like I don't like the significance of it. But I do like wings for, you know, like things like hearts and stars, so that looks really good. And these were made for making like jewelry and necklaces, or just adding to your mixed media projects. But they do have these loops at the top because you can use them for jewelry. So I am removing with a little plier, I'm removing the little metal loop because I don't want it in my project. It's not necessary. Okay, and they're easy to remove, so that's good. Just gonna have some resin here. I don't want to get stuck to my mat. The mat I'm using, it's Ken Oliver mat, and it's really great. It's one of my good purchases for this year, and I'm really excited about that one. And this basically goes underneath like this. I had to find the right angle for it to kind of stay, and once I found the angle, I had to remember how it went. Okay, there we go. And you see it's still, you know, kind of drying white, and in 2 seconds it pops up. So it's really easy to use. Okay, another thing that I did, so this is still working here. So I really wanted to use these barn stars. I thought, wow, they're perfect for this. I'm going to use them. And guess what? I only had this one single one. I searched everywhere, and somehow I thought I had more, but I only had one. If I would have had an extra one, I could have used it, but I didn't. And these come in these really great packages. So I thought, you know what? Let's recycle some more and let's use the packaging. And the great thing about the packaging, sometimes it comes with 2 of these pieces. So I actually cut them out. So it comes with an insert inside, which I used for the other project, and this is for this one. So I have to cut out these stars, and I can maybe, while I cut them, I can look at the chat. And if you have any questions about the resin, about anything, I can basically answer while I'm cutting. So yeah, so here I'm just trying to go back to the chat. Okay, so there we go. So I'm going to cut these around, and because I wanted to kind of, what I did is I wanted to fill them with hold on, I want to go around this. I wanted to fill them with things, and I'll show you what I did and how I filled them. So let me cut around them, because what's happening here is that I have this ledge here that I can't cut around. Okay, good. So this is a really great way of repurposing things, and you know, using, so I save a lot of these. I save a lot of everything, but I save a lot of these plastics, and I tend to want to use them for different things. So it's a great way of recycling. So between the cardboard and this, I mean, I know, like, you know, things get expensive, so it's a great way of recycling a lot of things and getting, and using things that you have on hand and not always buying. I mean, I know I'm not trying to enable you or anything like that, but yes, there's a lot of great products out there, and the key is to know what to buy and what you can repurpose. So that's a really great thing to kind of learn. And when you learn that, then you know, like, you know, what to use for what. So there we go. There is 1 star. And this is a boring part, but I have to do it. There goes the other one. And I didn't want to cut these in advance. I could have easily just cut these in advance. The reason why I didn't want to cut them is because I didn't have an extra one. And I really wanted to show you where I got these from, because then otherwise you would not understand that they came from this packaging. It wouldn't make sense, because they look like they're part of some kind of like other type of embellishment. So I thought I had to show you this. Mechanical, they're called mechanical barn stars. So those are the ones where it comes from. And they're not the, I mean, I'm not a fussy cutter kind of person, and I'm not exact. I'm never perfect, and I don't really care if I'm not perfect, because nobody really sees it. And especially when I'm filling these in, and because they're see-through, they're gonna be covered in things, so nobody's gonna see them. So, and don't worry so much about perfection. I did have a recent video where I specifically talked about that, and how you know, in mixed media there's really no need for perfection, that you just have to try and continue doing things, and it will just, you know, things will just, if you try and you experiment, the things will just fall into place. Okay, so let me just finish cutting these last 2 ones. These are the little ones, so hopefully they'll be quicker. And it's nice. I like that this packaging had 2 of them, because otherwise I would have had to think of other ideas of what to do. I had some other ideas, but I wanted to make sure that I use things that are available. Sometimes you know, I have collected things from the past, and then I find them, let's say, at the dollar store or something like that, and then they're not available for anybody to buy. And if you want to recreate the project or want to create something similar, then it's not available. So people prefer to have materials that are available out there. And you see my impatience, how impatient I am. Because I want it to be done already, and it's not. So, see, I can get this one piece to come off. Maybe if I cut it upside down. I think I did this after I got impatient when I was cutting them before. Okay, there. And 1 more star. So there's that. And the last one. So yeah, this is the most boring part of the show. And next week, feel free to join next week. You'll be able to see how I color everything in, how I rusted, which is my favorite part of it. I do like building the collage, but my favorite part is rusting it. Okay, so yay, I think I'm done. Okay, dokie. So wait, I just realized I forgot to do a step, which is to add this string. So let me just get rid of all this. Now it's not wanting to move. Okay, so one thing that is really cool about this mat is that it has a clinginess to it. So what happens is that everything gets stuck to it, which is good and bad. So it's good because you know, things don't move when you're creating, but at the same time, when you see my struggling now when I have to move things around, but at least everything comes off it. So far, anything I've put like gel has gotten onto it, gesso, anything has really been has gone off it. Oh God, where's my string? Hold on 1 second. Okay. So, sorry, I had to run. I realized I prepared everything, but except for this. This is called butcher cord. It's to make candle wicks for candles. And I don't know, I bought this for something. I was helping out with something crafty. And I thought, oh, this is perfect for it. And I just want to use it to wrap, to create some wrappings around the actual pad. And before I do that, I want to show you, I know, let me see if this is, okay, so no, this is still not dry. It's almost dry. It's still really hot. If you actually touch the silicone, it's really hot. Okay, so the way I did it is I started wrapping these around. And I think I did it before I added this. So I'm going to use some masking tape, which is what I used in the other one. I'll show you the back for a second so you know that I'm not. Okay. So the back of this one, I was just holding it with masking tape. This is what I mean. I really don't care. These are things I made for make for myself. So I don't really care if it's the back is like that. I don't sell my things, so it doesn't really matter in that sense. Oops. Okay. So I'm just going to let it drop on the floor. And basically we're going to create these wrappings. And let's see, how many times should I go around? Sorry, I'm probably out of focus. I mean, not out of focus, out of the screen. Oh no, I'm still there. Yay, okay. I don't know why I'm so nervous today. I've done these shows for 2 years already, or 3 years. I used to do with Prima and in Artist Life. I've done it for 2 years. It's been over 2 years. This May was 2 years, yeah. And I don't know why I'm so nervous today. But okay. See, this is 5, so a little bit more. And let me cut it here. Okie dokie. And I want to spread them a little bit. Okay, that's good. All right, and I'm going to stick it on in the back. Oh yeah, sorry, the butcher cord was there, I think, in the supply list. And all the supplies are listed in the video as well, so once we upload it. Okay, so there we go. So this is just to add extra texture to it. And I did go in with a little bit of gel just to make it like stay in place. So again, I'm going a little bit with my fingers. Don't mind me. I know a lot of people don't like using their fingers for things, but somehow I love using my finger. First, I have more control over things, and it's just easier sometimes that there's no point in reaching out for things, for paint brushes and so forth. So there you go. Okay. So just a little bit. I mean, there's going to be so many mediums on top that it really doesn't matter. Okay. So there is that. Now I want to also fill in these stars. Oh, again, I see I didn't prepare myself fully for things. So let me just let this dry. And I want to show you how I fill these in. 1 minute. So it's good to use a catch and tray for this, but you don't have to. I mean, you could use just a box or anything you have. Okay. So what I use is these glass beads, crystal glass beads from Art Ingredients from Prima Finnabair. But you can use any type of beads. It doesn't really matter. And I took a paintbrush. And hold on, this is a dirty paintbrush, so let me just clean it. So I took a paintbrush and using the soft gel as well, I added it a little bit into the bottom of the star. Oh, this is dirty. So you won't see it, but still don't like the fact that my paintbrush is so filthy. So I'm really not good at keeping things clean. Some people clean their paintbrushes right after they work with them. Same with their stencils and with their palette knives. I'm just really bad at doing that. I don't know why. I should keep them better, in better condition, but I don't. Okay, so again, so I'm pouring this in, and the nice thing about it is that it catches everything, so I don't need to worry about that. This is the second one I'm going to do, and the reason why, okay, so now I want to explain why I wanted to use the clear glass beads, okay, because I really, first of all, I wanted them to catch the color. I wasn't going to cover them with gesso or with anything else underneath. I've used these before, like I could have used art stones as well. But the thing when you're covering them with mediums, and you'll see next week what I mean by that. If you cover these beads with mediums, then they get really thick on top. So what I use is that I'm going to be using another type of thing, which is alcohol ink, which will stain the glass beads, but will not make them thicker, so they will stay as glass beads, but just will be a different color. So I'm just using here some, hold on, I'm just putting some more. I just used the leftover from here. Instead of dumping them into the tray, I just dumped them into the next star, and I'm going to continue doing that. Now I'm going to put some more in here. Okay, alrighty, so here I am with the next one, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to pour it into this because only the bottom is sticking, like only the glue at the bottom is keeping them straight. The other ones are not sticking at all. Okay, there we go. And then the last one. So the cool thing about using alcohol inks, which you'll see next week, is that you can stain things, especially if they're clear. You can stain them, and they take the full color of the alcohol, of the ink. Sorry, I meant to say not the alcohol. And then the alcohol evaporates. So that's why using the clear, packaging and the clear beads help with this. Okay, finally for the last one. Now the reason why I wanted to do things in two parts is because I really wanted to have it all really dry for next week. And it's important to let things dry. So usually things dry in about 24 hours. And it's important to let things dry fully before you're applying color or rust or whatever it is. Because then things start shifting, and it's just really hard then to apply things. Imagine these beads being shifted all over the place because they're not dry enough. And I knew I really wanted to create a much more involved project. I didn't want it to be something simple, and I thought this was perfect for this. Okay, there we go. So now I have the 4 stars, and all I do now is just put this back. And I'm sure a lot of people, if you've done crafting or cards or used embossing inks, powders I meant to say, then you must have one of these. And then I just dump it back in side. Oops, and of course don't do that, which I just did. And everything went outside. It slipped off my hand, but that's okay. I will clean it up. Okay, so you see, I just spilled over here. Great. Oh, there's some more. I hear them. Okay. So now I have to adjust this. So now, because it's clingy, the nice thing you notice, I don't know if you noticed that, what about the clinginess of this, It's probably not fun if like glitter falls on it, but the nice thing is that you know how if you dump beads on a table or anything like that, they just go all over the place. Notice how they all stayed in one spot. So I just really can just pick them up quickly. It's not so hard. And that's silly, but I didn't mean to spill them. I think, as I said, I think I'm nervous, and that's why this is happening. Okay, so I don't know, I have my sister calling me, and I think that she's picking up my daughter, so I am going to, okay, so sorry. Okay, now I just picked up everything, and here is my tag back. So the nice thing about this is that I can, even though things are loose, I can go ahead and place them and glue them onto my tag, and it's not a problem. Okay, so that's the nice thing about it. So here is, now we can go back to this, which is the label, and look how quick and easy it's gonna come out. Okay, you just release it and push it from underneath, and look how easy it comes out. Hold on, I don't want to break it. I mean, it's still fragile, so you want to make sure. Oops. And voila, there it is, my label. And this one, which is a little bit smaller, this one is thinner than the other ones. You can make it as thin or thick as you want. This one, because it's thinner, it's a little bit more like, you can actually, it was really cool. You could actually like mold it and leave it like, you know, you could make a bracelet out of this, God knows what. Okay, so this is just an idea. So this is the idea that I have. So I really love this material. It's so much easier than the paper clay. No offense to anything. It's perfect for my patience, which is not something that I have right now when I want to do things. So that's why this is, in terms of that, that's perfect. Okay, so let's get going let's get going on the next step, which is adding all the things together. And I'm trying to, okay, yeah. So one more thing I wanted to add on to this is I want to add, this is also another label from Salvaged. This is called Antique Crate Handles. They're so cool. They have really cool things in this Salvaged company. I really like all their things. And that's the wings that I altered a little while back. And here is the other. So these comes with two labels. So I used one label for the original tag that I did, and this is the other one. Okay, hold on. This has a metal onto this. Yeah, I know this resin. The resin is amazing. Everybody's saying that they want the resin. Yeah, the resin is great, I have to say. And you know what? I've used this so much, and it really lasts a long. Like, I still have so much left. It never finishes somehow. Okay, so this actual tag came with little screws. Oh, here, these are the little screws that came with it. But I was not going to drill, so I just left it the way it is. Originally I had cut out the hole, and then I realized that I wanted to use these tags, so I ended up just covering the holes, and it didn't matter. Okay, so now we're going to assemble things. And okay, so I'm going to assemble back things the way they were supposed to be. Okay, and the other wing, and I want the wing to kind of stick out a little bit from here. Okay, there, have the wing. The wings are hard to maneuver. They have these little things sticking up everywhere. And this is the star that goes here. Then we have a star that goes kind of here, and then two other stars. One goes here and one goes like kind of over here. Yeah, so that's pretty good. The other thing that I'm using, that I used, is this Mechanicals winged wings, and I put some up on top here. And let's see, which one do I want to use? I want one that is not too big. Or it doesn't have to, it doesn't really matter. This one looks nice. All right, that's good. Yeah, so that's that. And I also use these mechanical stars. I think they're called mechanical stars, yeah. Sorry, I put the thing backwards. But I added these to some areas as well. So I added one here because the theme was kind of stars. And let's see, where's the third one? Yeah, the third one goes, I think it's over here. So I only put 3 of those because it was kind of, I needed to kind of create that 3 rule. And then 1 star goes on top here. Okay, so that's the thing, the other one. Okay, and then I use and then the Archival cast also. It's this little baby that is spraying. It's so, I thought he was so adorable. He, she, I'm not sure. I thought it was really, really adorable, and I thought I had to put it in. I just really liked it. Let me just remove the, oops. Don't want to forget any steps, so hopefully I'm not forgetting. There's only 1 step here that I haven't done yet, but I will do soon. Okay, and this little guy goes in here because he's praying. Okay, he's praying for peace. So that is that. And the last thing, and this is from Michael's I got, and it could be anything you can use. Oops, where's the words? Hold on. I wanted to add a word. So now this is from the same one. I have 2 words left. So the other one I use faith. So I thought for this one I should use love, because love is everything. And this goes here as well. So this is how the composition is. Now I'm going to, oops, I don't know where that came from. Now I'm going to glue everything. But besides gluing, I'm also going to be adding some of the art stones as well. So I'm going to use, you could use 3D gel, you could also use heavy gel, okay? So it doesn't really matter which one. I think I'm going to use the 3D gel. I want it a little bit softer. And just to add basically everything and glue everything where I want it. Once everything is dry, it's so much easier to work with. So that's how I like everything to be dry. I'm very impatient, and I don't want things usually, I don't want to wait, but I know that sometimes you have to, so that's important. So let's start by gluing the actual handle. So I'm just applying glue here and on the other side, and just sticking it on. I just really like this handle. I really, really like it. Now that I have the composition, I know more or less where everything goes, so I just have to basically stick it on, which is nice and easy. The only thing is the wings. I always have to kind of play around with the wings. It took me a while to get the way, like for the star to fit perfectly on the wings, because there's always that one perfect spot that looks good and that stays well. The nice thing about the gel is that it's see-through, so it dries clear, so it's not a problem if you get it on other things like I did over there. Okay, there's the star, and there is this star. Okay. Okay, and I'm not going to glue the love word because I do want to color it a different color, and I don't want it to get a very oops, sorry, just my phone is ringing and I cannot answer it. So I don't want the word to come all rusted and thick with the paste, so I'm gonna leave it off, but I just wanted to show you where it goes. And this is like the label because I wanted to create a really nice label to have in that you can really see the intricate details with this cast resin. So it's really cool in that sense. I didn't put enough glue here, or I don't know if I did or not. So those will really show well once we put the other mediums, which which is really nice to see. So that works well once you put everything on. So did I glue these? Okay, yes, I did. Okay, let me put this aside for a second, and I'm going to put a bunch of glue here. Now you see why I didn't want to do all of it in one class. As you can see, like it takes like a long time to set it all up, and I would have not had enough time to dry everything, right? So I really was happy that I had like a 2-week opportunity, because I could show her a little bit of a more involved project and still be able to do it live on the show. Okay, hold on. So there's the wing. Okay, that's the wing is good. Let me do the other wing. Oops. So I don't know if I'm missing anything. Hopefully I'm not missing. No, okay, it's good. Okay. Okay, there we go. So yeah, oops. I want to shift it a little bit. Okay, good. And I'm going to also put some, glue on the, hold on, I just want to measure where it goes to make sure that it sticks onto that as well. Okay. So I actually did this in 2 parts as well, just to make sure that I had enough time for everything. So I did let this dry overnight. So that was good in terms of, like, you know, just figuring it out if it will actually work when I'm doing it live. Didn't stop me from getting nervous, but at least I was able to do it. Okay, I'm just gluing the wing and the star that goes on top here. Yeah, and then I'm going to glue this star on top. So here's this guy. And this guy goes inside here. Oh, there, he fits perfectly. Okay, so there's the composition. Oops, I'm a bit crooked. And the love one that I'm not gluing on right now. And I didn't put the stars also. I didn't put the stars straight. I really wanted them to kind of be sideways, except for the main star, because it's just the way it fit. I would have liked it to be a bit more like skewed, but I couldn't get it to fit with the wings, so it had to go that way. Finally, for the last step for today, until next week, is adding some of these. And the reason why I want to add them today is because I want to add the texture and have it all dry. And this is one of my favorite techniques from this year, because every time, you know how it is, you end up having different techniques that you love for different times. So this is, I'm going to use the soft gel this time, and the way it works is that I stick my paintbrush inside the gel, and then I literally go straight into the actual beads and start gluing them onto whatever I'm gluing them on. And that way they're kind of random, and also they go randomly on, but they also don't spread everywhere, because if I had to like kind of spray them on top, they would just go everywhere and not where I want them to go. So because this gel dries clear, and I do prefer the matte over gloss, of course, I'm just putting some of these art stones all the way down, and they're just drying this way. Oops. And they dry this way. So this is what I mean. You see how they're sticking out a lot, and I want to make sure that that they have this downward motion and that they dry fully, because imagine trying to put rust paste onto this. It would be a pain. It would not be fun to do because everything would move everywhere. I do want to point out that when you do this technique, the beads do go into the containers, so I tend to either use one of the containers that are like kind of towards the bottom, or use the same container all the time for doing this technique, so you're always getting the beads inside. It doesn't matter. Or just keep an old container and just go ahead and just put some gel in it and then do this technique. So there's many different ways of not contaminating things. I'm not very particular about things. I don't mind the contamination because I just use it as just more texture for next time. But if you are very stressed about that, then the best thing to do is to do one of those three things. Either use an old container, or dedicate one of these only for beads and sequin, because I use the techniques for other things as well, like sequin and glass beads and different things. So just maybe just have one container just for doing this, or you can just use an old container and just use it just for that occasion. So basically this is it. This is the composition. I'm going to let it dry for a few days, well, I guess a week, because I'm going to bring this back next week and I'm going to continue working on it, and you're going to see how we're going to alter it and turn it from this to this. So let me just make sure that I did not forget anything that I was supposed to put on this, because I do not want to add anything next week. So let me, oh, this is too high up. Let me go down. So we're going to turn this into that. Is that good? And yeah, so I'm going to show you how I'm altering this next week. And I hope you guys can join. And so you can see this part 2 of this. And thank you so much everyone for coming. I saw so many different names. I couldn't say hello to everyone, but I really appreciate everybody coming, and we'll see you all next week. I'm just going to stop the recording, and thank you, and we can chat after that. Thanks so much. Bye everyone.